it's part to do with solar eclipse. I don't know. It's we have, and I'm talking about solar eclipse not from a spiritual point of view, but from a physical point of view, because the magnetic fields can affect data and internet and everything else too. We are. It's like, was it not Thailand, wrong place. I don't get. There's an island off of China, which when my name blanked on the name, that they basically took their internet down to like slowest speed possible to simulate what it'd be like if they were under attack. And I'm like, I think it's happening to my personal email space. I'm under attack, but it's like this is not working right. It's like, is something happening just to test me?
Probably. Well, I'm so glad we got connected because we need to talk today.
Absolutely.
About the bias people can have when they have expectations and how limiting beliefs can make love difficult, and how we don't know what we don't know, and how we could not even realize how we could be sabotaging ourselves when you were talking about your computer.
Yep.
And how we could make things better for ourselves and in our relationships if we just looked at both of these things. I think it's very timely, right? With the challenges.
Yeah. Fit it into this one episode. It sounds like a lot of stuff to cover.
We might have to have an episode 2, which we've done before.
Maybe.
To be continued. Barry and I'd really like to welcome you to the new streamingnetwork.com, WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcast, #1 internet singles talk network. And this is Let's Talk Dating with Christine and Barry. Hi, Barry.
Hi, Christine.
Yeah, so many people are, the way that they initially communicate is electronically. And boy, if your electronics are going south, that could put a kibosh on your dating as well as your business. It's really... we're so dependent. Can't live with it. Can't live without it.
Yep. Yeah, and the thing is, it's funny. I was just on a call right before this about how AI slop is now becoming a thing, where people are posting stuff on social media, because I'm in a business conversation with people about how it's all AI generated, and so the humanity is missing. And some of the big players in the marketing space saying how we need to get back to analog, like face-to-face communication, because it's harder to fail. It's harder to fake that, because in dating profiles, I've come across, again, I said before, I'm single, so I'm on the dating apps as well. I've noticed a lot of times, I mean, dating profiles, that my spidey sense is tingling. They're going, these are not real profiles. They're fake, So that may not be part of this conversation, but it may come up about our own expectation bias. So they're planted a seed in the title.
Oh, I think that that's really true. And even if it's not a robot actually writing to you, when we talked about you can't date AI, that people are using AI to create their profile, which we talked about. Okay, go do that, but then add your own personal words and touch to it. Mm-hmm. Because it's interesting how I watch people, on the singles Facebook pages, and they're very frustrated that other people aren't putting up true pictures, or they aren't, writing their own profiles. And yet in the middle, they'll even say, well, I like touching up some of my pictures. Here's some real ones and here's some touched up ones, which great. Say that out loud, that what you're doing, but stop finding fault with the other person for doing exactly what you're doing. Yeah. We make up. I really do need to make a t-shirt that says we make up stuff. We just make up stuff in our head, and then we act as if it's the truth.
I was having
Go ahead.
Well, I was having a conversation last weekend about that. One of my friends was talking about how people don't represent themselves well. And I said, the challenge is that a lot of people basically believe they went to MSU. And she was like, what, he was like, Mississippi State University? He's like, no, making shit up. Because people do that. It's like we have this, and the challenge with AI in the dating space, I know we're going to get back on the main topic in a moment, though, but it's part of this whole premise, because it's about limiting beliefs. Yeah. Is that we don't think that we're going to be desirable enough if we show our true self. So we have to put on a fake face. And I've got friends of mine who update on Facebook, particularly where I see it, where they updated their pictures by taking their picture and making an AI version of themselves. And it's so clearly not them anymore, because the wrinkles are gone and the other parts are gone, and they look so different. And people are actually loving the pictures. And part of me goes, you're loving a fake picture of somebody. And the reality is, it comes down to, do we not believe that we're authentic enough, real enough, worthy enough to be seen as we really are? And one of the challenges in dating is that people sometimes are afraid to show their authentic self, their true self, their vulnerable self, their naked truth, so to speak. because they're afraid they'll be disliked or not appreciated by the other person. So part of this conversation has to include self-support in this journey, because frankly, you won't find somebody to love if you, or I should say, the love doesn't love you if you don't represent yourself as you really are.
Oh, yes. Being our most authentic self, I've learned personally and coaching, it's one of the most brave acts you can do. And in the old days, I think, I'm sure everybody's always tried to put on a good face. I think it's just more prevalent now because the not enough, tall enough, short enough, fat enough, or skinny enough, smart enough, lovable enough. The enough word is just too hard on people. And the last couple of people I've talked to in my coaching practice, a lot of it came from when they were growing up, and the parents, even if they were good parents, they were helping you to be a better human being. And so as human beings, we're not always really good at noticing and saying compliments. It's one of the things I say. It's so important for us women to learn to do that better, notice and compliment the real things that men do in our life. And often it's the parents who are trying to make you better. So they'll just keep pointing out the things you need to do better, different, more. And if that's all you hear, you keep hearing, I'm not enough, I'm not enough. And so you think whoever you are, your authentic person, is not enough. So if you acknowledge, oh, wow, that lands in me. I can see why I would feel that way, because I certainly did feel that way until I really got clear about this, going more into my 40s, to say, well, let's see what things about me are enough. What things about me do I like? What things have people acknowledged that are in my life that they like it? And what are the things that people don't like that are me, that I'm not going to change? And what are things I could change? And what I found over time, and it's one of the many big reasons that my late husband and I were so good together, is because from the moment I met him, I had made this agreement and had dated 2 other people that I practiced before I met him. I could not be my most authentic self. I wasn't even tempted. Even if I thought about it, I couldn't not be me. And there were times when he was like, whoa, but we talked it out. And there were times when he was being his most authentic self, and I go, oh, and we talk it out. But to have somebody really see you, and for you to see you and like you as your authentic self, and to have somebody else as well, I said, oh, I can't do that any other way, because this was amazing. And so, and the latest things I've been saying a lot is, I know the words I say often, really, a lot of the time, sound really easy. I'll just say these words and I go, yeah, I can hear that. But then I go, but putting it together is hard, huh? And we'll all acknowledge it's hard. It's hard to believe something different that you've thought was keeping you safe forever. And what happens with our limiting beliefs is they limit our life. They limit our potential for happiness with ourselves, satisfaction with ourselves, finding somebody who's really going to appreciate for who we are. And then the expectations we have for ourselves that are so unrealistic. And then we put these unrealistic expectations on the other person. And it's amazing how we could ever get together. But this is such a big subject for us to talk about today, because it absolutely makes smoother seas as you go along, or constant rough seas the whole time. I don't know how you can have calm if you're not being your authentic self.
It's one of those challenges, playing off that slightly, because there's also a thing, maybe it's just in, I don't know, it's just in me, it's other people too, about you don't want to let other people down. You don't want to sort of disappoint somebody because you say no, you're not interested, that sort of thing. But then you have to if you want to be authentic. And it's funny. So I was just thinking, because I was watching Simon Sinek he's on a TED Talk, he's on other things, but he's a business coach, talks about how to structure businesses. I met him. He was actually at Agape about a month ago. I bumped into him and I said, I know who you are. It's like, we still talk a little bit. He's a really nice guy. Anyway, so I'm watching some of his videos on YouTube, and one of the things he's talking about was the difference between kindness to being kind and being nice. And the interesting thing is that they're very much not the same. He actually was having a conversation with Trevor Noah. I don't know what the event it was at, but they were talking to each other about this on stage. And Trevor said something about how kind has a different origin. Actually, no, they're both of those. How kindness comes from kinship. It comes from humankind and that sort of thing. It has a lot more value to it. Whereas nice has this surface, and it's almost got this distasteful flavor to it. It's like someone, it's like when someone's got something on their face, it's nice not to say anything about it. It's kind to tell them there's something on their face and they should do something about it, because kindness is a risk. It's effort. It's a thing. And in dating, one of the beliefs we have is that we can't be honest, and being kind in a lot of ways is a risky form of honesty. And so I've experienced it myself. I've said it myself as well as being on the receiving end of it when I've been on some of these first dates in the last year or so, where I was being very nice. I wasn't being kind and honest. I wasn't being authentic. I was basically not wanting to disappoint, and also not wanting to hurt their feelings. Now, I was assuming that if I said something, it would hurt their feelings, of course. That was the whole point. I didn't say anything. But the reality is there's layers of this where the limiting beliefs can be so... I say catastrophizing is not the right word to use, but it feels that way. It's so self-denying because we don't want to be impact somebody negatively. And so one of the challenges I feel like we carry as limited, well, I say this, a limiting belief a lot of people carry is that we're nice people. And in the truth, we are, and we also have emotional expression and emotional freedom, and we sometimes say these things we shouldn't do. It's all one package. It's not like you can be nice or the other stuff. And so the limiting belief is that we can't necessarily be authentic if we're being nice. Truth is, what we're needed to be, as you said earlier as well, is like being transparent, being vulnerable, being authentic, being human is a good way to be.
Yes. Being human and adult is a
Yep.
challenging combination. And the more we do it, I think the better off we are. And if we do, with the 4 agreements, is it kind? That is one of the 4 agreements, is what you're
Yep.
going to say the truth? Is it necessary or hopeful? Is it kind? And you really do have to think about the kind behind it, because often when we are going to say something, do we have an ulterior motive behind it? Do we want to stab somebody, or do we want to get them on our side, and at least be honest about it? And when you're speaking your truth, which is the hard thing, because when we were kids, we really had no filters. We would speak our truth. And that's when we got molded and shaped by our parents who don't talk that way, or you need to talk differently. And I like that people have an intention of making us be, kinder when we talk, but the words that they give us make us not our authentic self. And it really takes a while to get back to your authentic self, because they only have a reference of how they act. So they want to put their words in your mouth. And that might not be your most authentic way that you express when you're upset or happy or angry or sad, that you need different words that you would then still be authentic. And boy, that was the journey I did in my late 30s and my early 40s, was finding my right words for me. And
Yeah.
what we expect from ourselves is often so unrealistic. And it started a lot when we were kids, and it gets perpetuated through our friendships and romantic relationships. So really sitting with, as you and I both do when we first start coaching with people, is who are you really, and what part of you is so sound and great, and we're just going to make more of that, and what's the part that's holding you back, and what's the part that's not giving you the opportunity to have this wonderful romantic relationship, because with yourself first and then with another person.
Right.
Because I have couple more men than women right now that I'm coaching. And they constantly, and I will ask you, since you have the Y chromosome, they constantly tell me that they're so attracted to women that are being their authentic self. Mm-hmm. If they're attracted to you already, the more authentic you are, the more they're drawn in, even if you're so different and you've got, different interests and things you're different passionate about. But when they're sitting there being, this is who I am and what I like and what I'm doing. And if you're going to run now, and they're like, I like that she knows who she is, because I'm not going to be guessing. You guys hate to have to guess. So it's so exciting for you. When my husband kept saying, nobody's ever talked to me this way before. And I think I like it.
My feeling is on that, and I agree with it, yes. I'm feeling a lot of what it's about. And I'm lucky enough to see a lot of attractive women around. Being in LA is kind of a common thing. But the thing is, I like to observe them, not to what's what I'm looking for, not to lech after them, but to observe them. Because so many times when I see them in conversation, or when I talk to them directly, I get the sense of how much of a pretense is being put up, how much of an act is being put up, how much they're looking to fit a role, so to speak. And the truth is that I think that it's almost like they would attract a better quality of partner if they didn't do that and just let themselves be authentic and real as they are. The thing I was going to say was, I think one of the reasons why it works so well for us men is because when a woman is being authentic, it's almost like gives us permission to be authentic too. Because when around a woman who's putting on such a level of perfection, for a better word, to be a certain look, I feel like I can't make any missteps, otherwise I'm doomed, which isn't helping. It's like, a better thing to do is walk away right before it starts. So to be around someone who's being authentic to themselves, when a woman is that way, especially if I'm attracted to her, definitely that's in the plus column, because it also means, in a way, it requires me to be authentic and natural too, which is much easier.
So much easier. And all the perfection that we put up, the expectation that we have of whatever is perfect for us and perfect for them. My goal has been for this many years is to perfectly be me. Mm-hmm. So there's times when I go, oops, oh my goodness, boy, that was not what I meant to say. Or, well, that was really grouchy. And geez, it's so authentic. And that's the thing. And I have to tell you, I had no idea how differently I would feel in my body, because I'd only felt the other way for, close to 40 years when I first started this. And oh my gosh, to really land inside of me and say, this is where I am today. And this is what I bring lots of stuff when I go anywhere. See, I now have the picture to show you what it looks like to travel through the airport with me. And I don't apologize anymore. I just go, and if you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. We just won't travel together because it wouldn't be good for either one of us. And it's been so freeing to just say, this is who I am. The silly things and the challenging things and my Achilles heels. And earlier on too, I mean, the kind of conversations that you and I can create on our first meetings with new people are really unusual, but it so lets us be transparent in really good ways and allows them, oh gosh, I don't have to put on with you. Okay, here's me. And if we aren't each other's people, we find out right away. And it's so much more gentle then. What I find often is we hide and think, well, when they really like me, I'll show them this part of me. And then maybe they won't leave because they really like me. But if you're hiding who you are, and it's like trying to hold your breath for a really long time, it's too much to be inauthentic for a really long time, no matter what the outcome's going to be.
And it doesn't matter how good you are acting, to put on an act to pretend to be somebody you're not, it's going to wear thin after a period of time. And you're finally going to give it up and just be like, I'm just going to be myself. And then you go, oh, I could have been that way the whole way through. Yeah.
Too often I have heard people that broke up and, they were like this, but then they were like that. I mean, all of a sudden they needed this thing and they said, oh, I've been unhappy for this long about this thing. Just say it out loud. Please say it out loud. Please be honored with yourself. So I think our limiting beliefs about I have to be more perfect, so I have to only show my perfect, and that if I'm flawed, nobody's going to like me. So the place that you and I always talk about starting is learn to like yourself with all of your things. And if there really is something that you go, yeah, I don't think I like this that I'm doing, then we'll help you stop being that. I mean, if you really do want to make some changes, which everybody does hopefully, there's always things to improve on. But to get clear about the foundation of who you really are, and you want somebody that likes you that. Love, great sex, hardworking with someone, agree.
No, don't agree with that.
No.
The context is also at a place that doesn't. Let's get back to that one later on. We've got to go break anyway. We'll cover that one later on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Good though, but we like it when people ask questions while we're talking though, because we're happy to answer them.
Helps with additive, yes.
So yes, it's such a big subject and we have so much to talk about it. And we are going to take a break for our wonderful station, the newsstreamingnetwork.com. But if any of this is landing with you and you're like, oh yeah, I knew this about me, or I never thought about that, that's really interesting. Barry and I would be so happy to have a conversation with you. And the way to do that is, for me, is to go to my website, which is theperfectcatch.com. Scroll to the middle of the screen. You'll see a questionnaire. What's holding you back from love? Click on that. brief questions, where you are, where you'd like to be. It'll give you access to my online calendar. Click on that to make a complimentary conversation with me on the phone or Zoom, or you can send me an email at christine@theperfectcatch.com. And how would people reach you, Barry?
Similar to Christine, if you want to get in touch with me, go to my website, which is my name, barryselby.com. And at the top of the homepage of my website is a button you click on, which is Let's Have a Chat. It takes you to my calendar, and also as a questionnaire, which is a fairly detailed questionnaire to give me a sense of where you are and what you're looking for and what isn't working, so that sort of thing. And it gives you a link to a Zoom chat, which we have. And it's a 20-minute conversation. Again, book on my calendar so it matches your calendar so we know what works. And we just have a conversation. And it's really about where you are, what you're looking for, if I can help you or not. Because it's not guaranteed that we'll work together, just to be clear. Because it's both sides of the conversation, to be authentic. And if you want to send me an email, send me one at barry@barryselby.com. We'll tell you about all the other ways you can find out more about us at the end of the show.
And we'll be back in just a few minutes after our sponsor break. This is Let's Talk Dating with Christine and Barry. We'll be right back.
See you in a moment.
Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Dating with Christine and Barry. And today we are talking about, I feel like it's an entire buffet. There's just so many subjects that are on the table today. The expectation bias that we can have about ourselves and other people, which can certainly create limiting beliefs. And it makes loving yourself and loving another person and allowing another person to love you really difficult.
Yep. The truth is that, and I've seen people do this, where they've had a persona in their relationship, maybe for decades with their partner. And you said before the break about how they discover, their partner suddenly changed. It's like they didn't necessarily change. They just gave up trying to be somebody they're not. So it may be a fear of being alone. You're not willing to own up to who you really are. Or maybe a fear that you don't disappoint your partner. Well, if you're living in a relationship where you're afraid of disappointing your partner for 10 years, 20 years, that isn't very healthy. Frankly, it's a chance to waste 20 years of your life. So why not be authentic at the beginning? Frankly, we recommend it because being authentic and being a true self with all your limiting beliefs up front on a plate, so to speak, if you need to be so, is so much healthier and cleaner. And I know I speak to expectation bias in this half of the show as well. But the thing about it is that relationships based on trust are much healthier than relationships built on a house of cards where you think you're trying to be somebody you're not to please your partner.
Yes. My husband and I gave each other permission to say hard things.
Yeah.
And to say the truth. And in the most kind way possible. I really pride myself on that most of the time. I can be really kind. But you need to be able to tell each other the truth about who you are and what you need and what it is you need from them. And then they get to say, yeah, I can do that. Can't do that at all. Could do it this way. Or sure, I could do that. Because once you have that foundation, it's so much easier to navigate as your life's going to change. I mean, I mentioned that my brother and sister-in-law have been married for 50 years last January, and think of all the changes that have happened in their life and how they've navigated that was because they've always told the truth. I've been really impressed to watch a couple in my personal life that has those hard, brave conversations. And it's not easy, and you can have big blow-ups, but generally, if you really are continuing the truth and you both still go, yep, I'm still on your side, I'm still on your team, I don't want to get out of this boat, I want to stay in this boat with you, even when we're stormy seas. And I think a lot of it's because if you continue to tell the truth about who you are and what you need, and the other person tells their truth about who they are and what they need. And when you haven't had that experience before, it's a learned behavior. It's definitely a skill, which is the thing that I tell people. The way you got good at your job or sport or a hobby, you learned how to do it, and then you did a lot of practicing. So that's the same way with the skills that Barry and I teach. You learn how to do it differently, and then you do a lot of practicing. It's
Mm.
not overnight. And I'm so frustrated with the people who seem to be spreading the rumor that you should just know how to navigate dating, because nobody does without some help and some learning. And you and I've just spent years getting it to where we felt like we were dating better, and now we get to teach and we're still learning. So to
Oh,
let yourself off the hook if any of this is relating to you, like it can get better, I promise.
frankly, this is the biggest challenge. I feels like is that people think they have to put on a certain air, a certain act, a certain way of being to attract the partner they want. And yet, there's the still um, present teachings about being a player for men, which is sickening, frankly, to see that. I mean, and that's always going on with the Tape Brothers and the whole thing's going over there. But the reality is that being authentic, being real, being transparent in a way is the best way of being seen, because there's no play acting, there's no persona. The challenge is that a lot of these dating tools are being taught out there, not by us, but by other people out there, oftentimes put together this idea that you got to put a certain presentation together, almost like a best of series of who you are to make the other person feel impressed by you.
Yeah.
Yeah, best of show. But the reality is that if you're looking to get in a relationship with somebody, not just for a quick date, you want to actually have a long-term relationship. I'm sorry to say this, but your shit's going to show up. You know, you can't hide it all the time. So why go in, hide it from the first place? Being authentic, and again, sharing what you really are about, and being honest in your expectations about what you're looking to bring and what you're looking to be in partnership is the best way to start. The challenge with expectation bias is that we have this sense of what it should be like, and we're not allowing it to be what it's going to really be like. And especially if we got raised in families where maybe the journey was where everything was looked like put on for show, like the plastic covered couch. If you remember, for those of you who remember that far back, so it never was pristine and perfect, where like there was never a chance to be mucky and dirty and just basic, becomes such a distortion of reality. So it becomes harder to relate to other people. And as I've said through the show for sure many times, about being authentic, being really real, is the healthiest way to be in dating in the first place.
So first figuring out what is authentic.
Yeah.
Maybe you've been this way so long you don't even know that that's not who you really are. It's like a pair of shoes that you've worn for a really long time and they're comfortably uncomfortable and you've really outgrown them, but you don't really know if you should replace them because you like them, but you don't know what a new one would be like. That's often where the journey begins with coaching. I have lots of people relate to that analogy. The other thing that's hard, with all the social media is people make their Facebook pages and their Instagrams only with little snapshots that look perfect, that look lovely. Their life is happening in this tiny little microcosm. And even if it's true that there's part of their life that is that, it's not their whole life. And people are trying to make their whole life look like this little tiny microcosm. So that's where you can have your expectations be so biased on reality. There's no reality. Anything on Facebook is not the whole reality ever. I mean, the people I know personally that post on Facebook, I know what else is going on behind the scenes. And I'm not being critical. I'm just saying, but people want to take it as just this little snapshot, and it's not the truth. And isn't there more going on in your life? And maybe you want your life to look as perfect as that. And that's just unrealistic. And to have a real, loving, caring, connected relationship with another human being, boy, you have to be brave, very brave, and keep putting your authentic person out there. But you do a little bit in the beginning and see how do they do with that. And if they're not receptive, then don't give them any more. Where the problem is the people that go, well, I just tell them everything in the beginning and then they hurt my feelings. Well, don't tell everybody everything in the beginning, because that was me too in the very beginning. I didn't know better. And I learned to have some discretion. So I tell people, whatever I tell you, it's 100% the truth, but it's this much of what I will tell you over time, because you haven't earned the right to hear everything. But I'm going to tell you, I still love my late husband. He'll always be a part of my heart. And if that's a problem with you, we can't be together. Right. And they go, yes or no. It's really a very helpful conversation in the first meeting, especially with divorced people. And some of them are intrigued and some of them are horrified. And it's really good to know, because there still are pictures in my house of him. And I still do care about him, but it's not something that will ever hold me back from loving again. But it's important to say it out loud.
it's the best way to be because it shows you as you really are. The truth is, it I mean, is ideal, frankly, to be that honest about what's going on because it does become a sorting system. It's your methodology to sort people out in the yes column and the no column very easily, which is great. The thing I love about this also is, and I was just thinking back on my own experience with both with clients, but also my experience in the dating arena too, how I feel most at peace when I'm being honest and authentic with whether with my clients or with dating, because my clients expect me to be honest with them. They don't want me to make stuff up to blow smoke up their butt or anything like that. It's about they want me to really be honest in my feedback, but also still the truth, so that they know where they stand. And it's true when I want that with all my friends too, my personal friends. Is absolutely like we are hold each other to the feet to the fire if we don't like stay true to ourselves and honest and share what's going on, and even sharing our, as to it in the title, limiting beliefs. When we have beliefs that are in the way, we don't gloss over those and pretend they're fine. We speak about them and say, this is what's going on for me because I have this belief about us that's not working. Can we work through it? And that's so rewarding because it becomes such an easy place to be. It's, I mean, I guess this whole thing. I mean, part of the joy of being alive and being human is we have stuff that shows up, issues, challenges, everything else too. But we pretend everything's fine and we gloss over it, especially when we're single and dating, because we think the other person won't be able to deal with it. We forget the other person's got their own level of stuff they're dealing with as well. So if we show them that we have our own stuff, they go, "Oh, you too? Oh, that's much better." It's almost like a permission granted type thing. So to try and be perfect, one of my favorite things is, with texting with people when you're going to meet them, it's like text them if you're going to be late, so that way they're not sitting there waiting for you. Some people are so scared of being seen as making a mistake, they won't text them. Meanwhile, the person who's waiting for them is just in their head running things like, did they get a car crash? Did something happen to them? Did they not think it was worth meeting up? Did they not tell me? All these different things we run through our head. Being honest stops those beliefs showing up.
All that making up shit.
Exactly. Shit. We're making shit up. Yeah, absolutely.
And the thing that I love about that is when you say, I think this is the truth and I really want to run it by you. And they go, yeah, not my truth at all. What happens with that conversation, instead of feeling like adversaries, you feel like you're on the same team. We're here to solve the same problem. It's not it's a, I'm feeling uncomfortable with this, or is this really what you meant? Is that really what's going on? It seems like this is what was going on. And boy, it sure is having a big reaction to me. So I need to check it out because I need to know, do I need to have a big reaction or not? And the right people, which turns out is more than not, if you allow them, jump on board. And when somebody does that with me, I mean, the clients do that all the time, but in my personal life, it is so rewarding when they go, yeah, and I was having this thing too. And it seemed like that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, boy, I can hear it, but no, not at all on this side. And it's so amazing to clear stuff up right away that way. That's really very authentic. It's so authentic to go, just checking, want to know what's going on.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, it's hard about how expectation bias and limiting beliefs makes love difficult. Absolutely, makes dating difficult too. So removing the bias and removing the beliefs, or I should say, making peace with the beliefs, makes love easier. I mean, simple answer. That's the solution. So it's something that I've been working with limiting beliefs since grad school. So I've gone through my stuff for decades. They are entertaining when you start getting a mastery of them. The challenge is a lot of times we go, there's so insurmountable, we're going to like hide from them and hide our head under the sheet, under the covers, so we don't think about it. It's like, no. The truth is that limiting beliefs can be wonderful things to play with. In fact, one of the things I do when I work with reintegration tools is that I help people take limiting beliefs and flip them around the other way. Because when they have limiting beliefs, they're a protection mechanism in a lot of ways to make us feel like we're safe to not do something. But love requires us to be a little bit unsafe, to be risking, to be vulnerable, to be seen. So it's how do you flip those around to be more freedom? And what I love is how the empowerment that comes from that and the recognition of the fact that those limiting beliefs were just a default choice to hide ourselves from being seen means that when we remove them, we can be seen, which is a wonderful thing.
And we get to show our strengths then, because we're putting our strengths under a rock, under a cover, when we're not being our authentic self, because we all have these really great gifts to share. And if you're not sharing them because you think somebody might not like it or it might not sound good, the people that really would like it are going to miss out. And how sad is that, including you and what you could receive from giving to people? Because I'm really clear. I think we've talked about that. I have a gift. I was given a gift. I've been talking to people since I was 3. And the way I paid this back is to keep helping people, and giving my words and my thoughts and my way of helping people find love and stay in love. And I am so grateful that I have this way to give it back. And I apologized for too long when I was growing up about this. And I'm so grateful that now I get to just give it. Yeah, it's wonderful. So, oh my gosh, we know this is a really big subject and there's so much more to talk about it. And if you really want to learn more about it, Barry and I are here, ready, willing, and able to help you puzzle through both biased expectations and limiting beliefs, because they just get in our face. So if you would like to speak with me, please go to my website, which is theperfectcatch.com. And I named it because you learn how to be the perfect catch first for you. And then you will definitely meet the person that's the perfect catch for you. And there's a questionnaire. What's holding you back from love? Click on that. It gives you just a chance to go, yeah, where am I right now? And what isn't working? Or I'm not even sure what isn't working, but I'd really like this to be happening instead. And then that comes to me. And then you get to make an appointment with me through my calendar, my online calendar, and we can talk on the phone or on Zoom. And I promise you will leave with a tool, at least one tool. Even if we decide that we are going to be working together, I promise you'll leave with some helpful knowledge. Also, when you're on my website, go to the top. I have a book that I give away for free because it's a dating column that I wrote for 10 years that has all these chapters. And I'm really getting such nice feedback about it that it's been helpful, which, I like hearing that I'm helpful. So just click on that and I'll send the book to you for free. You can also join my mailing list, which gives you a repeat of this wonderful podcast in your mailbox without having to do anything else every week. So you can watch us again. Also, to find out, I have a class that'll be starting again next month, both for men and women. So you'll be seeing announcements for that. If you go to the bottom, you'll see all my social media icons of Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and Pinterest. And on YouTube, you'll see all the plethora of subjects that Barry and I have talked about over our 6 years together. And you can also send me an email at Christine@theperfectcatch.com. And Barry, please tell people how to reach you and all the good stuff that's on your website.
Thank you. Indeed, yes. My website has lots of good stuff as well. So again, my site is barryselby.com. And at the top of the homepage, as I mentioned before, there's a button you click on, which is Let's Have a Chat. That takes you to my calendar. Fill out the form that goes with it, and then get in my calendar. We'll have a Zoom chat. Decide where you are looking for, if I can help you with that. Simple and clear. At the bottom of the homepage is the opt-in for my email list. If you want to simply join my email list without doing anything else, put your name and email in there, and that will then get you into my email list. So you'll get a weekly replay of this show, same as Christine sends out. I send that one on Fridays as well. And also other things I'm working on. There's a lot of new stuff brewing from my work. I won't say any more about that. There's some good stuff coming. If you haven't already done so, in the middle of the homepage of my website is the first of my 2 assessments. I have 2 quizzes. One is called the Relationship Readiness Assessment. And the second one, which I'm rebranding, is really calling it a Self-Trust Assessment. It's really about self-relationship. So the first one you get to is the button on the homepage, which you click on, or you can type in barryselby.com/quiz. The second one is not available there. It's actually, you have to type in the actual link, which is barryselby.com/self-quiz. So the first one is really a fairly, in quotes, simple quiz. You go through several sets of questions that basically you answer the questions. You'll get an email from me explaining really how ready you are for a relationship. That's simple. And reach out to me for support. The other one, the self-relationship assessment or the self-trust assessment, is way deeper. And that's like 7 sections of questions, much more self-reflective, deeper, and really giving you a chance to look at what's your relationship like with yourself first, because every relationship starts with the one in the mirror. So do that quiz first. And that's much deeper. So instead of just getting an email from me, you'll get an email with a link to a PDF you can download, which has a bunch of information about what you're working through and some navigation, some tools, some keys, things you can use right there and then, all free from me, with also invitations to reach out to me for more support. Additionally, on my website is my book, which is on the book page, or you can go to barryselby.com/book. And that book's 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. Little sidebar. Well, actually, first before I get to that, if you want to find out more about the book, the top is an audio track that's created from AI. Yes, AI generated. that basically gives you a good 12, 30-minute discussion about my book so you know what it's about before you buy it. Then you can buy it, the links at the bottom of the page. But no sidebar, my book's been out for 13 years now, since 2013. I redid it again 3 years ago, like did an updated and revised version since 2023. And I finally got it into the bookstore, my local bookstore. It's now available through bookstores can order it. The one local to me, I went in there and told them that my book's available, and they said, "Well, we just ordered it." I'm like, "Great, some books at the bookstore." So it's been out there for about five months now. And I was in the bookstore this week because there's also a coffee shop where I go work and other things too. And one of the girls on the counter knows me, said, "You said my book's been there for a while, hasn't done anything." I said, "Well, bring it over here." I said, "What do you mean?" So I said, "Go ahead and sign your book, like generally to the general audience." And then they put a wrap around the front which says signed by the author, which is very cool. So I put it back with that on it. But I took a picture first, put it on social media, and everyone's thanking me and saying, "Great job, you got your book out." It's like, it's been out 13 years. But it cracked me up. So my book's been out for a while. It's still doing very well. If you want to get your copy, you can buy it on Amazon. If you have a local bookstore, you go in and order it from them. They'll bring it in. They'll get it shipped to you there. Or if you reach out to one personally, signed by me, reach out to me personally by emailing me at barry@selby.com, and we can tell you how I can send you a book signed by me to you if you want to get personally signed. I have been inspired by conversations I had this week because of that post that generated so much interest that I may be working on a second book. So that's coming. That's been brewing as well. So lots of things are happening. On my social media, you can find me under my name, Barry Selby, most of the places like Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, and on Blue Sky. And if you want to find me and also on YouTube, of course, where all these shows get archived as well. So my YouTube channel has about 1,500 videos up there now. So a lot of content, including almost 300 of these shows, which is Christina, my podcast. You can find it up there as well. And if you want to find me on Instagram and Threads, it's The Real Barry Selby. And then you can drop me an email at barry@barryselby.com.
And if you like watching us live and submitting questions, we'd be so happy. We're here at 1 o'clock at Pacific on Thursdays and 4 o'clock on the East Coast and every time in between. Then you can watch repeats on Roku or YouTube on your devices. But we're very portable too, right, Barry?
Yes, the show is also a podcast, so you can listen to the audio version if you can't watch us live because you're traveling or you're driving around or you're shopping, something like that. You can listen to us with your earbuds in your ear and listen to us anytime you want. There's 275, 280 odd shows of ours that we put up now, so lots of content you can binge listen and share with your friends.
And if you hear something while you're listening that you think, oh, my friend needs to hear this, please share it with them and also leave us a review and like and subscribe. And we will be back next Thursday with another interesting subject about dating and relationships. Bye for now.